When I think about what I've gone through as far as civil rights, I mean, I'll admit I am from a younger generation, and sometimes, people tend to look at people from my generation and the generations after mine as, we haven't really gone through what they've gone through. And to a large extent, this is true, and we are very grateful for what they've gone through. I tell people all the time, I stand on the shoulders of those that went before, but, it's probably a little bit different what we go through now. Ours is a little bit more covered up. You may get the job, but you won't get the promotion. You may sit at the defense table with the other attorneys, but you won't cross-examine. So, it's just racism and the way things work now. It's just a little different. It's a little bit more creative, but it still exists. And sometimes practices that are in effect, sometimes would make some of us think that it doesn't still exist. Like, for instance, I use the example of a defense table because many large firms, I won't name them, but many large firms, when we were going through FinFin, for instance, and asbestos cases, well, we know many times those cases took place in small black towns. And they knew the jury pool would be black people, and typically they would be impoverished black people. So of course, if they were on the defense for the company that had done the wrong, it looked good then for them to have another minority sitting at the table as the attorneys. And so of course these attorneys were given sometimes six-figure salaries to just sit there. Well, to me, that does not mean that we have overcome, because you still don't have a voice. To me, when you start talking about equality, whether it's justice or racially or even employment practices, equality means that my voice equals yours. It means that I am seen just like you are seen. I'm not just a number. I'm not just here to say on your roll, I've got one black partner here, or I've got one female on staff. It comes with, but what are my responsibilities? Have you really given me supervisory roles? Have you really given me not just the salary, but the responsibilities and obligations? And am I really a person that can call some shots and make some judgment calls? That to me is what real success is. I also think somewhere in our society, what is quote unquote black has changed. And to me, we've let mass media and others basically sell us a bill of goods. That's a lie. Now it seems to be that, the video girls, that's keeping it real. Boys with the pants too big, that's keeping it real. Girls with the pants too tight, that's keeping it real. Talking a certain way and not mastering the king's language, that's keeping it real. That's a lie, young people. That is a lie. And that is a lie that will always keep you behind the status quo, because it was designed to keep you behind so that you would not be able to focus on your studies and be in competition for others when it comes to corporate America. So I want to say what's really being black is look at your mom, look at your dad. Not the athletes, not the entertainers. Look at your grandma, look at Big Daddy. These are what the true marks of what it is to be black. Black people, we were always a very educated populace. We were always a very classy populace. And this is what I mean by educated. Don't get confused. I don't mean just going to college means you're educated. Very far from that. What I mean is that you got to think, back in slavery days, the slave actually taught himself on the dark of night with a stick. He would draw in the sand letters. He self-taught himself. Think about that. So it angers me today when I hear about children saying they don't want to go to school. And we've come from a people that did that. We come from a people that shed blood and actually died for us to be able to go to school. We come from people where you were a 7-year-old and the National Guard Army had to walk you into school. How dare you say you don't want to go to school today when it's free and you have no threat of violence? So we've got to get back about what it really means to be black. In my opinion, what it means to be black is simply, I am concerned about my family, I'm concerned about my community, and I'm going to do whatever I can to better the life of somebody else. That's what's being black.